Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to our channel today. I appreciate y'all being here. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding us that very first time, welcome. It's good to have you. And our topic for you today, it's uncovering the signs of a toxic gym sales culture. Uncovering the signs of a toxic gym sales culture. Now, before we get into our topic here today, just a quick reminder, my focus, my mission here in the channel is I want to be able to provide as much information as I can to as many people as I can, across the globe. And the best way I can do that is when you choose to subscribe to the channel. So if you've not yet done so, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. And then to learn more about me, learn more about my company and how we can help take your business to that next level, be sure to check out those links below. And then for you folks who are looking to open a new gym and you need funding, if you have an existing operation, you need funding, we can help provide funding for up to $400,000 in funding. There's no collateral, it's unsecured, there's no restrictions on use. The credit score to qualify, minimum level, is 680 or better in all three bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and then a minimum income of $50,000 per year each of the two previous years. Check out the links below under financing and funding. We have 4 different programs, within our funding capacity. Because everyone's going to be a little bit different. What you need, what you might qualify for. Check those out. Be happy to chat with you. As a matter of fact, feel free to drop an email if you have any questions on something like that. Happy to chat with you. And so, with that said, let's get into our topic here today, and it's uncovering the signs of a toxic gym sales culture. Uncovering the signs of a toxic gym sales culture. Now, I want to give you some of the things that we see, okay? But, what causes this toxic gym sales culture? I can tell you one of the big things we see is just an enormous pressure to make the sale, and almost an intolerance if we don't. Okay, you don't have as much of this as you used to, but it's still out there. Okay, this stuff still happens, and maybe sometimes even unintentional. Okay, so take a look at some of this. If any of this is happening to a team that you manage, maybe take a look at how we can manage differently, or if it's happening to you, is that the right situation for you, or what can you do to get that addressed? So, uncovering the signs of a toxic gym sales culture. So number one on my list, there's no boundaries around work. Okay, there's no boundaries around work, and what I mean is the job's everything. There's nothing else that exists, and I've seen this. Okay, in numerous situations where the person gets there at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're leaving at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it's every single day. And if that's your choice, okay, fine. Okay, but if that's a mandate and you're being required to do this and you're made to feel less than 100% if you don't, you're going to start getting a toxic culture there, and you'll start getting people, your staff will start doing things that they shouldn't do. I know in years past when we've seen a lot of this, a lot of the salespeople received criticism for how they were selling things, and maybe they should have, but really what caused it was that culture that was kind of pushing down on them, and this was how they were responding to that. Number 2, on uncovering the signs of a toxic sales culture, your people don't trust each other. You might think, hey, we've got a nice situation here, but if your staff doesn't trust each other, okay, can somebody handle the paperwork for me on this account? Can someone handle this referral for me? You don't see a lot of that because you don't have that trust that's going on in there. So, take a look at some of that. You may not have this, at the highest level, but you might have it in certain components. Number 3, this one you see a little bit more of, but there's no room to make mistakes. There's just no room to make mistakes. And, the reality is mistakes are going to be made, and when they are made, just fix them. Okay, and when you can, let's say, hey, how can we prevent that mistake from happening again? But in toxic, situations like that, there's an intolerance, and there's no room to make mistakes. Number 4 on my list, people treat each other with contempt. They treat each other with contempt. And this happens when you start pitting them against each other. There's nothing wrong with contests and things of that nature, that are friendly in nature, that are team building in nature. But when we start putting programs together that cause our folks to start treating each other with contempt and hoping you lose, that's not going to be the dynamic that you're looking for, to really grow your business. Number 5 on my list, the interpersonal relationships, simply aren't healthy. Okay. And certainly if you have that contempt issue in there, they wouldn't be, right? And so, the relationships are not healthy within the club. And the reality is, we spend so much time together inside a facility. You want this to be a team. We want it to be a situation where we're looking out for each other, we're helping each other, because you can really flourish when that happens. But if you're starting to migrate toward more of a toxic sales culture, you'll start to see some of this. Number 6, there's no support for employee growth. There's no support for employee growth. And, you can be doing a lot of things right, but unless there's really support for that employee growth, you might have some underhints of some of these things going on. We want to be training, we want to be developing, we want to be teaching, we want to be coaching, we want to be mentoring, we want to have a culture where people want to work. But you want to have this support, for employee growth, have a true commitment to it. I know a lot of folks will use this channel, for staff training and things of that nature. Number 7 on my list, people frequently feel gaslighted. People frequently feel gaslighted. Now we're talking about a toxic sales culture here. And what I mean by this is when they're gaslighted, they start to question, kind of how they think. They're questioning how they feel. They're questioning how they perceive this. Do I have this wrong? Okay, and you'll start to have some of that. So people frequently will start to feel, gaslighted. Number 8 on my list, and this one, no real surprise, but people start to experience personal stress and work stress. They're more stressed than ever in these kind of environments. Okay, and the thing you want to remember here, if you're in a management capacity, what our job is we want to create an environment that allows a motivated person to act. And when you get into some of these things like this, we're most certainly not doing that. I mean, we're going, the other direction. And then last on my list of uncovering the signs of a toxic gym sales culture, people are just disengaged. I mean, they're not really part of it. They're disengaged, and you've got a high turnover rate, where it's a high churn. I mean, I can think of clients that we've had in years past where, we start to implement this and it becomes real clear that we're not going to keep anybody because we're not able to change because of what our ownership is on this. We're not able to change that toxic culture, and we're going to have a churn. And of course, then we have to go in and look at ways to, okay, how do we address that? How do we fix that? Because you have to have a staff there. But people are disengaged and your turnover's high. If you have a high turnover, maybe you say, well, hey, we don't have, a toxic culture here, but we do have a high turnover. Go in there and look at some of this. It might be in there and you don't really realize it, or it might be at certain levels. It may not be up here, but it might be over here. Wherever it's at, it's not where you want. Again, our role here is we want to create an environment that allows a motivated person to act. So folks, again, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. Hope you found the information beneficial today. If you have questions on this or anything else that we discuss in this or other videos, feel free to drop me an email with any comments or questions you might have. Happy to get back with you. And then if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. To learn more about me, learn more about my company, how we can help take your business that next level, be sure to check out those links below. And then for you folks that are looking to open a new gym, you need funding, you have an existing operation, you need funding, we can help provide funding for up to $400,000 in funding. It's unsecured funding, no restrictions on use, minimum credit score of 680 or better in all 3 bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And then minimum income of $50,000 per year, each of the 2 previous years. Check out those links below under financing and funding. Have several different options for you depending on what your circumstances are, depending on what your situations are. Be sure to check those things out. So folks, again, it's good having you here today. We look forward to seeing you all in that next video.